Hey you guys, so today is going to be a little bit of a different video, and that has to do with regulatory capture, profiteering, and the decline of American manufacturing. As you know, I'm out of town. You may have heard about the Boeing 737-9 MAX that is grounded right now, just the models with the plug door. The plug door is a door that they put on where in the future there could be an exit door. It's not an exit door, it's a plug that holds space for a future exit door. And it looks like the bolts holding it in place were never put on. The plug door was installed by a subcontractor to Boeing. And what's coming out now is that Boeing insiders and the insiders of the subcontractor have been complaining about shoddy business practices and improper manufacturing procedures for decades. So what happened is that at around 16,000 feet altitude, the plug door just blew off and the cabin depressurized. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that Boeing, and this, they did not put this in the manual, they changed the cockpit door, that usually when you have to have equal pressure between the cabin and the cockpit, and there's some kind of depressure, some kind of a gateway, because the cockpit door is bolted shut from the outside, right, for safety. But Boeing in this latest model made it so that when the cabin depressurizes or the cockpit depressurizes, the cockpit door will fly open. And the pilots didn't know about this. Now they handled it calmly, but I guess a bunch of their emergency manuals or flight manuals, I don't know, a bunch of stuff flew out and they were just taken off guard. And Boeing didn't want to let people know because they didn't want to rewrite the book. On breaking points, Sagar hit it on the nail. He said, when the stock price is the product. The problem with Boeing and a lot of these companies that started in the 70s and 80s is that the stock price has become the product, and enriching the top executives have to become the product. And ideally, we used to have engineers running the auto companies and running these companies like Boeing. We had engineers at the top. In the 70s and 80s, they started getting very profit hungry, and they put accountants and MBAs in charge. And they started getting very cozy with the regulators. See, the regulators are supposed to look out for our best interests. I already know the FDA doesn't care about the food pyramid or the pharmaceuticals. They're just trying to enrich the pharma companies. And we also know that the FAA has also been somewhat captured by Boeing. When they built the 737, they did something where they were like, we'll do internal controls or something. I don't know. And then we gave Boeing a multi-billion-dollar bailout not that long ago. We've bailed them out, and all they're doing is enriching their share price. They do not give a shit about their product. And that's the problem. And Boeing is like one of our last flagship American companies. You know, I think we should be very upset about this. I'm very mad. I'm very mad about this. Now, it also happens that when I fly back to San Diego in a few days, I'm flying with one of the airlines that has a lot of these 737-9 MAXs. And so a lot of them are grounded. I don't know if it'll impact my air travel. But you know, if that blowout would have happened at cruising altitude, it would have been much worse. But what else is loose on that plane? You know, what else are they not telling us? And why have we been ignoring these whistleblowers for decades? I'm not an airline aviation specialist. There are a lot of articles written. There are a lot of industry insiders that are speaking out. So you have to do your own research. But I'm just here to say that as just a regular consumer, I'm seeing, you know, it's concerning, the decline in our manufacturing, the push for profits above all else, which started in the 70s. When I was a real estate agent, the broker I worked with, he was retired. He was a former auto industry executive in the US and in Europe, and he kind of specialized in turning companies around. And he told me that everything changed. I don't know if it was the 70s or the 80s when he said the bean counters took over from what the engineers used to be in charge. And they started looking at profit above safety. And they started saying, well, we can take out like there was a part in the back of the car that was like a stabilizer. They're like, we don't need a stabilizer. Let's take that off. We'll make more money. Or let's replace this part with a cheaper part. Or let's make this safety feature optional. And they started just chipping away and chipping away and chipping away so they could make more and more money. It was all about the money. Now that's human nature. We know that's human nature. We know our congressmen are just completely bought out. I don't like either party, okay? They're all corrupt. And now the Democratic Party is refusing to hold primaries in 4 states because they want their Biden guy in. So people are naturally corrupt if they have too much power, okay? And the Founding Fathers knew this, and that's why they made 3 branches of government. But all this is like kind of crumbling. The regulators that are supposed to oversee all of these, they are now chummy with the people that they're supposed to regulate. So our checks and balances system is weakened, and this could be part of the natural decline of an empire. Furthermore, I want to say something else. All these wars that we're doing, they're not defensive wars, they're offensive wars to enrich the military and the people in Congress who want war. And they're not helping us make friends around the world. They're creating more enemies, and like seizing assets of other countries is going to make people less, start looking for alternatives to the dollar. It's just a gradual decline when people abuse their power. That's what I want to say. When people abuse their power, that's not good. And that's what's happening. Yeah. So what do you guys think about manufacturing, the economy, and our regulatory agencies and regulatory capture? And the main 3 ones are Wall Street. They create the housing bubble, the internet bubble. Nobody went to jail. The big pharma pushing drugs, which a lot of them we find out later were bad for you. And the military industrial complex. But anybody with power, power, it's easy to become corrupt. Power is like a drug, you guys. And people often abuse their power. If you see someone who has power and isn't abusing it to start a cult or to enrich themselves or get more money or fame or something, you're looking at an exceptional individual. I don't even know if that's possible, I think we have to just live life knowing that people in power, they're probably corrupt. Now look at the Epstein files. These guys in power, now they want to fuck all these young women, teenagers. Impoverished teenagers, not empowered teenagers. They prey on the impoverished ones. So that's why we have to be aware of the people in power. I don't trust them. I do not trust them. It's just human nature, I think. That's all I want to say in this video. Hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for watching.